Helen, researchers are divided over how much of an impact, if any, dress policies have on student learning. Critics in different parts of the country make the case that uniforms don't improve school safety or academic discipline. On the other hand, studies indicate that in some high schools, uniforms can have great positive effects on factors like attendance rates and even self-esteem. But what's the impact of school uniforms here in Rochester? I explore in tonight's feature story. Take a look.
Uniform sweaters, 22 to 24. Jumpers are $30.
The style and color of school uniforms.
A t-shirt is $8, a pair of shorts is $10. Oxford shirts, short sleeve $18, long sleeve $20.
Is quite possibly the least of some parents' concern.
Somebody's bill might be average $200. But we always say, then you're done. You don't have to go buy anything else.
It's a fast-growing trend. In just the past 2 years, the number of Rochester schools requiring uniforms jumped nearly 20%. At Pasantino's, a uniform supply store in Irondequoit, Doreen and her husband Ron Pasantino have managed a steady business for the last 25 years.
We're going from morning till night.
Each year, nearly 3,000 back-to-school orders at Pasantino's come in from across the region. School administrators believe school uniforms help with behavioral issues, but it also comes with a downside.
We moved away from the blazers because that was funded by a state grant, so we couldn't fund that anymore. So it's hard to ask parents to buy those, so they're very expensive.
Wakili Moore is the principal of the Leadership Academy for Young Men. The public school, which requires students to wear a uniform, opened its doors 6 years ago. At the Leadership Academy, boys from 7th through 12th grade are taught the importance of discipline, respect, and education. Moore says dressing in uniform helps to instill those values in the more than 90% African-American student population.
There's research 6 years ago of boys of color in the city of Rochester graduating at a rate of 9%, and we wanted to raise that rate.
Researchers in cities like Atlanta and Tampa Bay are divided on the topic of whether school uniforms do any good for students. Critics say that mandatory school uniforms hurt children from minority families who are often unable to afford the uniform. But despite the cost, more students and their families have embraced the school's uniform policy.
I was actually kind of happy to have a uniform, as weird as that might sound, because I didn't have a lot of fancy clothes like everyone else had worn. This was normal, you know.
Senior Reginald Harvey says he owes a lot of gratitude to his mother for making ends meet. Colin Bavabadila and Jack Fisher are among more than 900 boys at private Catholic school McQuaid Jesuit. They say they take pride in looking the part.
I knew it was going to be way more expensive than the clothes I usually wear.
Administrators define the garments as a dress code rather than uniforms. That way the students can experience the benefits that lie ahead.
I think it encourages you to dress for a future job or a future interview process.
You can't universalize a whole classroom of kids and say this is universally good or universally not good, because it does depend on the individual. The research is so skewed on this topic.
Psychotherapist Jody Amon often talks to her clients about their self-image and self-esteem. She says external factors like peer pressure in the media have created increasingly high and unreasonable social standards.
A uniform equalizes everybody, and people aren't as worried about measuring up and belonging because they already do.
This is how they should present themselves. And we have seen a difference in behavior and conduct and how proud they feel of themselves when they dress this way.
And if the survey of this small group is any indicator, the heated national debate over school uniforms so far shows no sign of igniting in Rochester.
It's not discrimination.
Sasha Ann Simons, WXXI News.